This is the Anastasia Ryzhkova podcast. Today I've spoken to an amazing and a very talented human being, Gordon Xavier. He's got a YouTube channel where he talks about evolution, motivation, and human growth into becoming who you're meant to become, your best self. So I hope you enjoy this conversation. Hello there.
Hey.
I can't see you again.
You can't see me? Okay,
Nope.
Hold on.
Unless you don't want to be seen. The mystery man.
Mystery man.
Yeah.
Have him guessing. No, it's all good. How you living? What's going on?
Good, thank you. So we're finally doing this. And
Finally, yeah.
how are you? So, do you want to talk about that T-shirt you've got on? I don't have one yet.
Man. Yeah, you gotta grab an Evolve shirt, man. Yeah, all my videos and everything I do, it revolves around personal evolution and growth. Just living your best life, evolving mind, body, spirit, and the emotions. And so, gotta rock that, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I think it'd be a cool way for people to kind of represent that and bring people together, start a community of that.
Yes.
You don't see too many like thriving communities, that rep that.
I think they're popping up now.
Yeah,
Those
they are.
communities. They definitely are. So, funny story. I've been watching you on YouTube for a while now, I think. And then you
Appreciate the love.
and then you stopped making videos for a while, and then I saw your new video pop up. And coincidentally that same day, that's my dog. And then coincidentally that same day, you followed me on Instagram. I was like, oh, that's a sign. I should message him and get him on the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's
really
funny.
cool.
Yeah. I had some time away. Had to do some growing, had to do some evolving on a deeper level,
Yes.
And sometimes it's kind of hard to do that while talking all the time, so had to get silent for a little while.
Definitely. Do you want to talk about that? So I think you mentioned in one of your videos that you called it a depression for a while, for a couple of months. And for anybody who's struggling with that, I think it would be really interesting to hear your insight on what you think depression is and how you evolved from it.
Yeah. So, I've been making YouTube videos for about 5 years now, right? So, pretty much what I've been doing is just documenting my personal journey, and learning the lessons that come with, kind of growing up. I started making videos at 19, and then transitioning, into adulthood and going out and living out on your own, bills and the stresses that come with interacting with society and, trying to integrate, all these good ideas. And so you get beat up in the world of, being an entrepreneur and, and an encourager. And so I found myself always trying to, uplift other people and add value to other people's lives. That some time went by and I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Let's redirect that attention toward yourself, because there's some things, you're neglecting that, so I ended up doing some diving deep. But, in the time that I was away, I had started a business, and I started a network marketing business where I was traveling, meeting all these people, doing tons and tons and tons of presentations, interacting with so many people. And it came to a point where it was just like I was being stretched so thin, and so that neglecting of the self started happening. And I withdrew from YouTube. I withdrew from the business, and, I just kind of got burnt out. And the environment that I was living in wasn't really conducive to my growth. So, a snowball effect of negative thinking started happening. I think a lot of us in life, sometimes that happens. We go through this cataclysm, this like avalanche of a certain way of thinking that kind of buries you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very wise of you to just decide to pull back a little bit. Well, mind you, that's very wise of you to start a YouTube channel at 19. What has brought you to that? What was the decision around that?
Really, so I spent some time. I went to Mizzou. It's a school out here, university. Went to university for about a year, and I was taking all these classes and stuff, and none
Mhm.
of it was resonating with me.
Mhm.
Like I went originally for accounting, and then I switched to dietetics, and none of it was resonating with me. I'm like, this is, I want to add value to people's lives. It's always been about personal evolution and growth. I wanted to do that, but school wasn't, it just wasn't resonating on that level. So I ended up taking my attention off my classes,
Mhm.
and I started attending YouTube University,
Yeah.
and just diving deep into a bunch of content of other people that were doing what I wanted to do. And there was this guy named Elliot Hulse. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but
No, I
he
haven't.
makes, check him out. He's awesome. He's really
Okay.
cool. But he kind of inspired me to start making YouTube videos because I saw a lot of myself in what he was doing. And
Mhm.
I'm like, oh man, if this dude is doing it, I can do it, because he just reminds me so much of myself. And so I started turn the camera on and just started talking, and one thing led to another.
And you have a YouTube channel now. Yeah,
Yep, yep,
that's
yep.
really cool. So do you wanna tell us what you speak about or what you like to talk about now on YouTube?
hmm Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Anything human,
Mhm.
anything human, when it comes to, one thing I don't think we're taught in school. We're not taught about how the mind works. We're not taught about our thoughts. We're taught about, like, to like the psychology and all these different
Yeah.
subjects, but we don't learn it relative to ourselves. And so I started learning about thoughts, and I started speaking on how thoughts work, how emotions work. And one of the things that got big on my YouTube channel, there was a time where I was really exploring consciousness, and I got into what people call, like, out of body experiences.
Yep.
And so,
Mhm.
so I was really big into meditation, and I saw these people having experiences where they were claiming to leave their body. I was like, hold on, what? Hold on, what you mean? And so I end up looking into that and doing some research and studying as some time goes on, and of me attempting, going through the step by step processes that I've learned about, and I had my first experience, and so I shared it with people. So actually, originally I had a different YouTube channel.
Okay,
I,
right.
I had one YouTube channel where it was just like I was talking about, why can't we all get along,
Right,
and going on
blogging and
rants,
mhm.
life. And then I had my first out of body experience, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to post it on this channel because I don't want my friends to see this. This is weird, right? This is a weird topic. No one's going to
Yeah.
believe me, So I just made another video on it just because, on a different account,
Mhm.
and the other channel wasn't doing well at all. It was like getting 10, 15, 20 views. I posted this video on a different channel, and within a week, it had like 500 views. I was like, oh snap! Maybe people want to hear about this. It took off, and so that's one of the main things that got big on my channel was out of body experiences, lucid dreaming, astral projection, meditation, and I kind of went down that path as well. So it's just anything human, man. I believe that humans are awesome. You
Definitely.
know.
Well, it's interesting that astral projection back then was a big thing around this community, and then the community is growing bigger and bigger, and people are more interested
Mm-hmm.
in what is the out of body experience. And the one thing that I've been interested in lately is to find out what is the difference between the dream and an out of body experience, and what is a dream.
Mm-hmm.
And you've had an interesting video if you'd like to talk about that, about you
Mm-hmm.
seeing your mom in your dreams lately. And
Yeah.
I have had that
Yeah.
experience with my granddad. I've been seeing my granddad when he passed away, and over the
Mm-hmm.
course of a few years, he would come into my dreams and he would tell me interesting things and give me
Mm.
advice.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you think about dreams?
Um, I just have my interpretations, so
That's
just like
fine. Yeah.
everybody else, I have experiences and I interpret it. So I'm no guru on it, but, um, you know, I believe that, people have dreams and they have, out of body experiences. Um, to me, human beings, we have multiple bodies.
Mhm.
A lot of us, we don't, it's something that, once again, not taught at school, but we have
Yeah.
multiple bodies. We're using this body when we dream. We're also using a body, like right now, if you just sat there and you're looking at your phone, you could, with your imagination, reach out with another limb that, you have access to, and
Mhm.
feel the texture of your phone. you know
Mhm.
like, if you chose to, like, whoever's watching this, like, wherever you're at, look around your room, and then look at something that's near you, and use your imagination to move another limb that you have access to, and you can almost feel the texture of it.
Yeah.
And so, um the with certain meditation practices and guiding your awareness, you can learn how to access these different bodies on higher levels.
Hmm.
And so um, I guess I'll slide into dreams first. But I've always had like super vivid dreams. They've always interested me, and I remember my buddy. We would always be talking about dreams in which we become aware. And so that was kind of like a path I went down to, keeping the dream journal, and really like focusing on like, okay, what do these dreams I'm having mean? And you know, I just noticed that as I put more attention towards those dreams and focus, they became more solid, more real. I began to extract more, information from my dreams.
Hmm.
And to me, at this point, they're just like parallel realities that as we go to sleep, we drift into because they've gotten so real for me,
Yeah.
like a lot of us, we just don't look at our dreams. We don't put attention into them. And so we very vaguely remember them when we wake up in the morning. But
Hmm.
to me, it's like, that's a parallel reality, man. Like,
It's like a
that we just tap
muscle.
into.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
practice it. Well,
Hmm.
has that helped you in your life here, in your waking life, reading dreams and
Yes.
understanding them? And how, if so?
Very much so, man. I mean, it's taught me a lot about manifestation,
Hmm.
specifically lucid dreams. Because, if you dream enough and you put enough attention to it, you begin to see the similarities in that dream world.
Yeah.
You'll see the same things reoccurring in your physical life almost, and to me, the dream world is just a little more malleable,
Hmm.
you can have a thought in a dream, turn the corner, and then boom, there's that thought. Like if
Hmm.
you, especially if you're having a nightmare or something, like you think you're afraid of clowns, right? And you turn the corner with the
Yeah.
clowns, and there's a clown right there, like you know, where the hell did that clown come from? So you
And you
know,
manifested it instantly in your
yeah.
dream. Yeah.
hmm and I've noticed that in dreams, thoughts take a little bit longer to appear.
Hmm.
And in this world, it's the same pattern, it's been stretched out more. So
Hmm.
here I can have a certain thought. Say if I'm thinking about my dad or something, I'm thinking about him a whole lot. I'm thinking about him a whole lot, and I get emotional as I'm thinking about it. It requires a little more emotion in this world as well.
Hmm.
Next thing you know, he's calling me, or next thing I stumble across a picture of him. Somehow those things like synchronicities like that happen in this physical world. But um, a lot of us don't hold on to the thoughts long enough to see it, manifest. Like the YouTube channel, that was a dream I had. I
Hmm.
had a dream of being able to reach out to a lot of people, and it started off as a thought. But I held on to it long enough. Got emotional about it, got passionate about it, and next thing you know, it's manifesting. This is something I dreamed of. I
Yeah.
dreamed you and I up talking right now. you
Really?
know, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, dreams are
so
interesting
it's
that
it's
when
it's
you look at them that way. So they
yeah,
are sleeping dreams, and they're
it's
also.
deep.
Yeah, I think so. Well, um, I've been reading a lot of Carl Jung, and I think I mentioned it in my last podcast again because I've been
Mm,
really obsessing over him. And he talks interesting things about dreams, like the archetypes that we see. And the more we start to understand the archetypes and the way that we're connected to them,
mm,
the better it benefits our lives, our current lives. And like you said, manifesting. So I totally know what you mean by that.
mm,
Mm.
yeah.
That's really cool.
What's his name? Carl Leon?
Carl Jung. Yeah.
Carl
So
Jung. Oh,
Carl
okay, okay.
Jung, the psychiatrist who worked
Hmm.
with Sigmund Freud for a while, he's a little
Okay.
bit younger.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's really cool. So you
Yeah, it's
also,
it's
sorry, I interrupted
no,
you,
no,
but you're
no. I was
also,
just agreeing with you.
you're also a singer. You sing.
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Sing a little bit, sing a little bit.
Well, it's good. I think it's really good to do all these things that you're feeling with your heart that you should do. That you're
Hmm.
following your heart and you're following your talents. And even though, like, oh my God, I'm so nervous, like I'm not sure if I'm a singer. Why would I even be doing this? Well, why not? So, and you do what, you freestyle, or do you write your songs now?
I do a mixture of it. I have a lot of stuff that I've written that I just haven't gotten the studio with
Yeah.
yet. But the intention is is to do so. But for the most part, I like as of late, because I don't have the access to those things, I just been putting on the camera, putting on some beats and just, having a little expression session.
That's really cool. Yeah, that's what I've
Yeah.
been doing with my writing. It's interesting. I think people should
Yeah.
really be encouraged to do more of that because, like you said, they don't teach that in school. At school, you're
Yeah.
told not to do the things that you're interested in because that's not what's going to
Hmm.
bring you money. What's going to bring you money is go learn accounting, go learn business.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I think, I'm really big into the music and everything just because, it allows me to express myself. It gives me an
Mm,
opportunity to express. And I think there's so much power in expression. A lot of us, we have a hard time expressing ourselves.
yeah.
And, so much fear that fear kind of suppresses. And going back to earlier, you asked about depression,
Hmm.
and, I think a lot of us will find ourselves slipping into a depression when we don't express what we really feel that we are on the inside. Like look at those two words, they're really close:
Totally. Hmm.
expression and depression.
Yeah.
And depression happens when there's suppression going on.
Hmm. There's the
So
lack
you
of
be,
expression. Yeah.
yeah. And so,
Totally. Yeah, I've been thinking just the exact same thing a couple of days ago when obviously when I started to publish because you can sing to yourself in the
mm,
room, but if
mm,
you don't sing to other people,
mm,
it's still suppression because you're not sharing your voice, you're not sharing what you're making and creating. Yeah, I think that's very
for
important.
sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think expression is for yourself, but it's also, I mean, for other people. I think you gotta, in life, I feel like you're supposed to pass your energy along, like it's like a neural network in the brain or something. Like all of us as humans, we're like little neurons on the
Yeah.
brain of Earth, and we got to pass those little energy, those energies on to keep healthy and to keep, integrated in the world. You got to keep uh, to stay rooted in the world, and to
Hmm.
stay connected. That's the word I'm looking for, connected,
Hmm.
And so, yeah, you got to expression and pass it on.
That's cool. That's one thing I didn't know about you. But is there anything else nobody knows about you that you want to share?
Um, Honestly, man, I'm pretty open. I put a lot of stuff out, and so, um, I on YouTube I have about like what 200 videos or something like that. So I've shared a lot on there. So not that I can think of off the top of the head, but um, I'm always searching inside to once I find something, I'm like, all right, where the camera at?
True,
So.
true. Well, you talk a
Hmm.
lot about meditation, obviously, and
Hmm.
I watched a few videos, and you say when you meditate, do you just breathe mostly, or do you do any other meditations?
Yeah. It depends on my intention beforehand, like sometimes I'll go into meditation to release.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll go into meditation to manifest,
Mm-hmm.
so it really just depends on that. But I'll share an interesting story with you,
Okay.
um, just from the other
Yes,
day,
please.
of me of me manifesting, using a meditation to manifest. And
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised the very next day I saw that manifestation come into reality like quickly,
Yeah.
and so this meditation. So, one thing that I believe is I believe in the power of imagination, right? And
Mm-hmm.
visualization. Anything in life that you want to bring into this non-physical. And so
Mm-hmm.
you have to give it some kind of form in the non-physical first. And so meditation gives you an opportunity to, with your attention and your intention, to do that, on a higher level. So the other day, I've been living the life of an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
So I quit my job, don't have a job. It's
That's
pure,
brave. Yeah.
yeah. My cousin and I, we call it, we're living in the faith zone,
Okay,
you
cool.
know, and, and, um, and so with that being said, it's since reconfiguring everything, I've had some money saved up, but that was beginning to dwindle as bills were starting to hit me and stuff. And so there was some stress about that. Like, okay, I'm running low here, man. I can't eat the same way I've been eating. So,
Yeah.
I was a little stressed about that. And so I went into meditation. And so my cousin's driving, I'm in the back seat. And so I began to focus on that breathing, and I clear out all those thoughts that are nagging at me like, Bills, you need to get this. You don't have this. You're
Mhm.
lacking this. And I begin to let go of those thoughts, like, because I knew they were kind of necessary, but they didn't empower me to do what I had to do. So I began to let go of those, and I began to drift into a place of no mind. And once I got to that place of no mind, I then began to say to myself, okay, tomorrow, let's make $150. That's just simple, right? Nice and easy. Let's make
Mhm.
$150. And I noticed when I said that, emotionally, I was like, like I was like, oh, I can't do
Not
that.
true,
Oh,
not true.
and
That was gonna happen. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, oh, that's realistic. That's unrealistic. Oh, that doesn't, and I noticed the emotions in my body weren't aligned with it. And I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Why is my belief like that? Why do I feel
Mhm.
that way? And so I'm like, there's some more stuff to release.
Mhm.
And so I released those feelings. I breathed them out. And then once I released those through my breathing, I then once again began to imagine, okay, tomorrow, $150. Let's do this. And then I found myself getting excited about it. And then I found myself like believing, and
Mhm.
I found myself allowing myself to truly believe that was possible. And I let that sink into my nervous system. Like I didn't just stop at like the imagination, like, okay, I'm imagining it. No, I let it sink into my nervous system to where it was almost as if it already happened.
Mhm.
And then after that, like, and that was like a good 15 minutes nonstop of me really feeling it, getting excited for it, feeling grateful for it. The very next day, the very next day, I made about $160.
Oh wow,
And
that's hilarious. And the $10 on the top, like cherry on the top from the
yeah,
universe.
right. A little $10 on top.
Yeah.
And and it's incredible. Before this meditation
Mm.
and afterwards, see, I didn't change any actions I was really doing that day. You know,
Yeah.
like for example, so I would always go live on YouTube. I go live and interact with everybody, and I do this all the time. After this meditation, I went live on YouTube, and then somebody left a comment
Mhm.
below saying, "Hey man, do you have super chat?" I was like, "What's super chat?" And they're like, "Enable super chat and watch this." I enabled super chat,
Mhm.
and then so what super chat is when you enable it, people can donate to you right there on YouTube.
Oh
And
really?
so
I
yeah,
didn't know
and so
that.
yeah, neither did I. And because I got vibrationally aligned, I enabled that, and then she sent me $25 right there. Somebody else sent me $15. Somebody else sent me 10. Somebody else sent me 5. And they were all like, "Your videos have helped me, so here's some help to you."
Yeah.
The same exact action, but vibrationally different within myself, breeded different results. You know,
Mm.
and so that was incredible, man. And then on Instagram, I've been able to connect with a lot of people, and my shirt started selling a whole lot that day. You know,
That's funny. Yeah,
it's
it's
incredible.
it's amazing what happens when you what I call reprogram your brain. But there's a lot more to it. I feel like
Hmm.
this any sort of work that leads you towards your path, what you're supposed to
Hmm.
do, comes with a lot of working on yourself. You're doing
Hmm.
what they call the shadow work. What else do
Hmm.
they call it? Yeah, they call it many different things. So how do you do
Hmm.
that? Is it just for meditation that you work on releasing things that you no longer need? Or are there any other methods that you can share with us?
Yeah, yeah. So I'll do what I call dynamic meditation,
Okay.
right?
That sounds
And
interesting
so,
already. Yeah.
yeah, dynamic meditation is it involves a lot of expression.
Hmm.
So, and I mean expression, right?
Hmm.
Because the only way I believe to like truly release anything is to express what you're feeling, to express what's going on within you. So sometimes you have to quiet your mind and allow those things to come up. Sometimes you don't even have to do that. Sometimes it's just already on the forefronts of your
Yeah.
mind. And so sometimes when no one's home and I'm
Hmm.
by myself, whatever I'm feeling, I will release it emotionally. So
Hmm.
say if I'm frustrated in life, right? If I'm and Elliot Hulse, he calls it bioenergetics. You
Okay.
know, say if I'm frustrated, if I'm frustrated, I will express that. Oh, God dang it! Oh, it flips like when you're a kid.
Mm-hmm.
When you're a kid, you'll throw a temper tantrum.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You don't hold anything
and
back. Yeah.
you don't hold it back.
Mm-hmm.
And so we find ourselves getting programmed and conditioned as time goes on. Hey, don't you be
Mm-hmm.
crying.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, don't. Hey, why are you angry? Don't be angry.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you're laughing way too much. It's uncomfortable. It's weird. Why are you laughing so much?
Yeah.
And so in these dynamic meditations, I'll give myself permission to release all that I've suppressed throughout these years.
Mm-hmm.
I'll quiet my mind and I'll shake my body. I'll get into my body. Oftentimes, movement will
Mm-hmm.
jar emotions loose.
Yeah.
You know, and I will have an all-out expression session called dynamic meditation, and I found that is a great way for me to bring up all those energies and release them so that I can receive new energies.
Yeah, that's an interesting word for it. Dynamic meditation. I'll remember it.
Mm-hmm.
I think people should know why this is really important to do, because if you don't
Mm-hmm.
do that, eventually it will come out at the wrong times. You'll be with the people, somebody will trigger you, it'll be a little like the smallest thing, and all of a sudden you're screaming and crying. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I've seen it happen so many times.
Oh, really? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Me too. Yeah. You
Mm-hmm.
see it in life, I think, all the time. Well, that's another
Mm-hmm.
interesting thing. I think there's a lot of suppression. There's the suppression in society of the female, um,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's suppression of society of the masculine. So
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned, you can cry out your emotions, and lots of men don't know how to tap into that. And I think
Yeah.
that's another important thing too, because if you don't, do you believe that it comes out in anger in men if they don't get sad? That's
Yeah.
just my personal belief.
I think it can manifest in many, many ways.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on the individual. It depends on what specifically are they suppressing. Because if they're suppressed, I think it all stems back, especially to our parents. Our relationship with our parents.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
if you have like me, for example, I have a really great relationship with my pops.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but there was times in my life where we did not get along. He was going through stuff, I was going through stuff, and thank God I forgave him.
Yeah.
Thank God and we made amends, because had I not done that, I'd probably to this day be walking around pissed off. you know,
Yeah.
but going back to what you said, I think that, yeah, you have to express whatever it is, because you'll just hold on to it. You'll
Mm-hmm.
just hold on to it, so it just depends on what specifically you're holding on to.
Yeah.
And tears. I encourage guys, man. If a lot of us have suppressed tears,
Mm.
tons of them, and like I just discovered myself releasing a lot of suppressed tears. You saw my video. My mom passed away when I was young,
Yeah.
and when she passed away, I didn't cry. I was 7, so I just didn't really know how to react, and didn't cry, didn't and even as I grew up, didn't really let any tears out. And it wasn't until recently, this year, that it kind of hit me like, oh, wait a minute, like
Mm.
you have a mom, and you had a mom, and just so I reflected, and I dove deep into that, and I ended up finding myself releasing tons of tears on her birthday, when I was
Wow.
looking at pictures of her and just like staring at them, and reconnecting with her, and those dreams have been happening too, and that kind
Yeah.
of it jarred some stuff loose, and I found myself for about a good 2 hours crying like a baby,
Mm.
and I had no idea that all those tears were in there,
That you were
you
sad.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, so I think a lot of people in life, there's things that we put off to the side, and they're unconscious in us. And, you know, we should do some soul searching to figure out what that is. And oftentimes we know what it is. If
Mm-hmm.
you ask yourself, it'll pop
Mm-hmm.
up, but you're like, oh no, you put it off to the side again,
You
you
just
know?
suppress it back down where it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause you
Yeah.
ain't ready for that. It's like, ooh,
Mm.
um, but yeah, it just depends on the person, and um, I think there's a lot of power in releasing whatever it is, and once you release it, you'll find yourself having more space for new,
Mm-hmm.
and more space for love specifically, and that's
Yeah.
powerful.
That's what gets you those dreams. Just a question: when did you start doing this conscious internal work? When you started making videos, or did it come out later in life? And what triggered it?
Um, specific. Sorry, I got a
That's okay.
notification distracting me. Um, my I guess I have to unplug. See, that's the unfortunate thing about these new iPhones. I
Yeah.
can't have my headphones in and charge just at the same time. So
Oh, I
hopefully,
know. Hopefully you can hear
hopefully the
me.
sound is. Yeah, are you in the same right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got one of those as well, and it's just you can't charge your phone and you can't listen to music at the same time if you want to use headphones.
Didn't hear anything. One sec here. Sorry,
It's
my
okay.
laptop is making noises. Okay, now I can hear you.
Okay,
Okay,
cool.
that's what it was. Earlier, I didn't have on Skype. I didn't have it on speaker. That's why I couldn't hear you.
Right, you had it on headphones. That's why
Yeah.
you need to have headphones.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so cool.
Hmm.
All right, so what would you ask again? Sorry about that.
Um, what did I ask? I asked you when did you start doing this conscious internal work on yourself, and what
Oh,
triggered it, and how did you learn about it?
um, right around the time I started making YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, in school, because I've always been about personal evolution and growth. I used to wrestle in high school, and so
Oh,
uh,
okay.
yeah, so that was like my first taste of like, oh, I can evolving. Like
You can get
my
better
first
at
year,
something.
yeah, my freshman year I sucked. I was getting my butt whooped,
Mm.
and but it built a lot of character in me, and it taught me that if I put my mind to something, I can get better. And by the time I was a senior, I was beating everybody,
Mm.
and I ended up medaling in state, and so it taught me about like it taught me that I can evolve and I
Mm.
can grow, and so I took that same pattern. And I was like, well, what else can I apply that to,
Yeah.
And when I got to school once again, I didn't see that pattern reoccurring in my classes. I'm like, this is just nonsense. I'm like, like so it depends on what you want to do with your life, but I didn't see that pattern reoccurring in my classes. I'm like, I'm just like, regurgitating stuff. So,
Mm.
I started like, designing my own curriculum on YouTube. Then I started the YouTube channel, and I noticed as I was giving what I was learning, I found myself wanting to get more so that I can give that, like
More of the knowledge. Yeah.
yeah. I'm like, okay, well, let me learn some more stuff for
Mm-hmm.
myself, but also to give it, And so I found it started a circle, like it started a giving and receiving circle within me, and so um, yeah, and that just triggered it. And then next thing you know, my buddy Patrick, I grew up with, we
Mm.
would spend hours in Barnes and Noble. I dropped out of school. And I just started going to Barnes and Noble. It's like a bookstore that we have over here.
Mm-hmm.
You have Barnes and Noble where you're at?
No, I
Okay, yeah,
don't. But I like. There's so much I know about American culture for many reasons, but also one from movies, and another one is
okay.
I went to international school, so we had American teachers and we had American curriculum. So I grew up with
Mm,
an American schooling system.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hey, you don't have like a super strong accent. Like I can
No.
hear.
What kind of? What do you mean? Which one? Did you expect a Russian accent or a Kiwi accent?
I expected an accent that matched that last name.
Oh yeah, yeah. That would be a Russian accent. No, it went away when I was probably 10.
Okay.
Yeah, so I moved to Japan when I was around 10, I believe.
Wow.
And well, we never really lived in Russia anyway. And then I went to that international American school, and most everybody was American, so you pick up on the American accent very quickly. And
Mm.
the funny thing is, I've never actually been to the States, so
Oh,
I know.
that's cool. Oh,
Well, I'd like to go. Yeah.
yeah. But
Mm.
you have plans on coming at some point or soon or sooner than later or
I do actually. I'm going to my friend's wedding in
oh,
September in Las Vegas. Not
oh,
because the wedding is in Las Vegas. She lives in Las Vegas with her partner, so that's the first time I'm going to be there. Yeah.
That's a cool place to come for your first time in the States.
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, you're
I don't
gonna.
know what kind of impression I will have of America, like an American lifestyle.
Yeah, it's don't 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 yeah, don't let that be your overall perspective because it's
Yeah.
definitely a different world. Like
Mm,
I've been a couple of times in the last couple of years and whole new world.
yeah. I always wonder, what is it like to grow up in America? Like you're
It's
saying, the whole growing thing is that the whole American dream? Do you feel that you can get better and better in life? Because in Russian culture, it's not really celebrated as much. And again, I'm generalizing. I'm sorry to all the Russians, but that's just my experience.
yeah, for
Mm,
sure. I don't have a whole lot of contrast to
mm.
be able to like really like say what it, but I can tell like my immersed experience
You
in
can tell
America.
your experience, what
Yeah.
your opinion is. Yeah.
Um, I love it, man. I mean, I think it's
Mm,
awesome. I think, it's true what they say. It's a land of opportunity, and even just vicariously living through other people and hearing their stories, in comparison to, they're like, yo, like I have friends who came up, and like
yeah.
in the Middle East or, somewhere else, and I'm like, bro,
Hmm.
it's so different here. Like the fact that you guys aren't rich blows my mind. The
Yeah.
fact that you're not rich, like, blows my mind, and so but I do. I think it's a cool place. I mean, despite a lot of the race issues and stuff,
Mm,
you know, I think there's still room for a lot of growth, and you have a lot of freedom to express yourself here. So,
yeah. Do you mind talking about? I'm very careful when I say that, obviously, because I don't have that perspective. But
mhm.
it always, for some reason or another, maybe because I grew up in so many different countries, it always bothered me, the race issue. I never understood it. So, what's it like growing up then when you're young and you don't really understand those issues yet, but you can see that people are probably acting different towards you? Yeah. What kind of
Yeah.
what kind of
It,
character does that build? Yeah.
it depends. I think it depends on
Mm,
experience. My experiences haven't been too radical,
yeah.
for race. I have experienced, like racism towards me, but it's not enough to make me go, curse that whole race, like,
Yeah.
you know, that whole race. I've had a lot of great experiences with a lot of different races, but, um, I know people that have had some really graphic and dramatic experiences based on race. And so I can see how that would shift
Wow.
their perspective, you
Yeah.
know, but no, I don't understand it as well. I think it's such a, I think we're being programmed, to
Yeah.
to do that. I think it's a war tactic to keep people divided and controlled. You know, um, but I also think that it's like I feel like it should be common sense. Like, yo, like like
Yeah.
I know my skin is black, but I'm a human primarily.
Well,
I know
yes.
and your skin is white, but you're a human primarily.
Mm,
And I think that right there is what people need to really have their attention directed to.
yeah.
But instead of our attention being directed towards that, it's always directed towards skin in
Mm,
movies, in TV, in the
mm.
news. They're doing it on purpose, and if I was a diabolical villain, I props to you, bro. It's smart. It's something simple to have people get caught up on. But I think with time, man, I think we just need more people, more reference points of what it means to I
Mm,
think people need to see what it looks like to be unified. You know,
mm. I
we
think
need more
so. And I think we're seeing that now. People in general,
mm,
especially online, you find these communities where people are open minded and they see people, and you feel like you're talking to, excuse my terminology, the soul. Like you are. Like some, because I know some people don't believe in the soul, but you are. You're talking to a person, first of all. You're not
mm,
really talking to how much money they make or where they come from or what language they speak. Well, hopefully they speak the same language as you do so that you can have a
yeah,
conversation. But
yeah,
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it has been weird, for instance, for me to grow up in Japan because
yeah.
I'm
How
a
was that?
Russian. Well, it's good. Like, I mean, I got really good treatment, but sometimes you come up to them and you want to ask something in Japanese, but some people get so afraid of you because you don't look Japanese, so they would just run away and they don't want to speak to you because of their own anxieties. Yeah, it can be really weird in some small cities of Japan, but otherwise it kind of does feel a little bit isolated. You do feel like people are always looking at you, but I think it's changing now too. There, like it's becoming diverse, and again, globalization.
I think that's good. It's going to be the natural way. I think Earth is getting smaller, you know?
Yes. Well, it feels like it.
Yeah,
with the internet. Well, I mean, we have some common friends. I just spoke to Shahrazad, and apparently you know them as well. Yeah, so that's crazy. Yeah, the world is so small, especially our spiritual community. I think that's very small.
Yeah, wow, that's cool. That's deep when you think about it. Like, oh yeah, I know the same person as you, even though I'm on a totally different.
Yeah, we're all in different places. Huh? Oh no, the connection went bad. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
The
can you hear
video
me?
just stopped completely for some reason, and I can hear you. So I
Okay.
just had to hang up on you. It's good now. It's perfect
I
now.
saw the whole thing happen. Okay, cool.
Yeah? Okay. It's better now. The connection
Good.
is a bit weird. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I think where I am, the Wi-Fi isn't that great for some reason.
oh, okay. Yeah. That's not. Where are you? If you want to tell people. What
Yeah, no,
state, maybe?
I'm at my house, right? But
Okay.
but it's just the Wi-Fi here is crazy sometimes. I don't know why it does that.
Oh well. Well, we can call you back. So, do you mind talking for about a
Yeah,
couple of minutes more? Yeah.
I have time for sure. We can keep it up. I'm enjoying it.
Cool, cool. Have you done a podcast before, by the way? I was gonna ask you.
Um, I've done. I don't think so. I think it might be my first one. I've done like live sessions with people. Like,
oh, that's right. You did that one with Ryan. That's how I found you for Ryan Cropper.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've done a couple with Ryan, couple with Shahrazad, or I call her Spot. It's just easier for me to say. My tongue goes shallow.
I try saying her name every time, but I'm pretty sure I'm mispronouncing it. She's like, it's fine, it's fine. I'm like, I don't know. I really want to be able to say your name.
Yeah. But yeah. So I think you're one of my first official ones. So
cool. Well, thank you. You're my third guest, my third official guest on my podcast.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So where can I like access all of your content and stuff? Will you have a website, or you putting them on YouTube? Or
for now, they're not on the website. They're going on iTunes now. I'm very excited. The podcast has been approved by iTunes because apparently it takes some time to do, and it's on Stitcher as well.
Okay.
Do you know Stitcher? It's another one. If you've got an iPhone, you probably use iTunes anyway, so that's fine. And I have a YouTube channel as well, so those videos are going to be on YouTube.
I'll have to subscribe.
Yes. Well, I don't have many videos on this channel. I did have a channel before, but then I got into fear and I stopped.
Yeah.
It freaked me out. Yeah.
It can be a little freaky to be putting yourself out there, but
well, that's true. I always had a bit of social anxiety growing up. And then for some reason, I decided that would be a great idea to do a YouTube channel when I wasn't quite ready. Like I wasn't quite ready internally. And I started filming them and putting out videos. And I thought, well, by the time people start watching this, I will get better. But then I made the mistake of making a video that's called Open Your Third Eye Easy. And the views kept coming in. And I was just like, I can't do this right now. I need some time off. And so I took some time off as well.
And you were like, too many views.
Too many people. Well, it was just, I thought it would be 10 or 20 people. I didn't think that it'll be any more than that. Yeah.
Well, what I've learned, people will definitely, if you're talking about something, if you're giving some kind of value and you're a pretty girl, they're going to watch.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's probably why they watch you too. Not because you're a pretty girl, but the other way around.
Oh, thank you. I'm an ugly man? No, I'm just kidding. You said, no, I'm just kidding. But
Don't think I said that.
no, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's especially cool to, I admire what you're doing because a lot of you see a lot of girls and it's just nothing but it's selfie town. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
it's
And I
like let me
mean,
hear your thought.
I mean, I'm sure lots of people have a lot to say. They're just too afraid to say it, what they're
Yeah,
thinking and how they're feeling. And I've just always been like that, just like you were explaining. Like I couldn't keep it to myself because I was always interested in um, expanding myself and growing and learning more. I just didn't think I could. I didn't think it was for me. I thought it was for other people, if you know what I mean. I thought other
yeah,
people were better so they can grow and they can learn, and I'm just here. Yeah. So that's when the idea for the podcast came out, is that I thought if I speak to other people and they share their knowledge, then that way we can, both bounce ideas of each other, and it becomes so much more easier and so much more interesting. And I have conversations with people, and that way I can help other people grow their channels and their whatever they're doing,
yeah,
help people evolve. I just love
yeah.
using it as a pun. Yeah.
No, that's really cool. That's so cool, man. You're doing a good thing. I appreciate you giving me an
Thank you.
opportunity to share, share my light and my knowledge, and it's a good platform. I
Yeah.
think you're going to attract a lot of really cool people by
Thank you.
doing this.
I
So
I
yeah,
will
keep
try. But thank you, and thank you. I think everybody who watches you and who doesn't watch you yet will appreciate your channel. But your channel is pretty cool. Yeah.
appreciate.
But I think I know we already talked about it, and if you
Mhm.
don't mind, but most of your videos are about astral projection, aren't
Yeah.
they? Yeah. Is that something you're still interested in, or is that something you still try and practice?
Um, you know, it's something that I I wanted to kind of move away from, because it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't my original intent to be the astral projection guy.
Yeah.
Like it was something that I just tried and was able to do, and so I shared a few experiences. And but my original YouTube channel that I had started was about what most of my videos are about now, or about you know your emotions, your thoughts, your self
Mm-hmm.
image, and helping people just feel good about themselves and their lives. And so that's my main focus, my main passion. But astral projection was just something I was interested in, and it's something I'm still interested in. I don't do as much anymore, just simply because it requires a certain kind of lifestyle,
It does.
like,
It does. Yeah, definitely.
and so
Mm.
I just right now I feel called to go in a different direction, but I'll definitely still be sharing experiences when I have them, and
Mm-hmm.
the knowledge I have on it. So
So, what direction is your channel going primarily now?
um, it's still it's evolving,
Yeah.
so
So,
um,
ideas are
so
coming in, I'm sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm all over the place, to be honest. Like I talk about categories of things that's in the mind, and really my channel, I have people send me questions, so
Yeah.
I kind of want it to be more of like kind of like an advice column, like when
Mm-hmm.
people have certain things they're going through in life and they don't really know where to turn, send me a question, I'll
Yeah.
make a video, and so the topics are always inspired and random, but they're still over the overall umbrella of being human, and
Mm-hmm.
all of our, you know, all the things that we all go through, on this roller coaster of life.
Definitely. Well, you have a brand new service. Do you want to tell people all about it?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So I'm doing, actually, I do several different services.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't started pushing them yet because I've just been establishing bases and
Yeah.
foundations. But so I have several different coaching services. The first one that I started was for heart healing, and
Mm-hmm.
so how to, like, diving deep in those areas in the heart that we have blocked, because I believe that if you can get rid of some of those blockages in your heart, you will just rediscover a superpower you didn't know you had.
Yeah.
You know, and love is a very, very strong thing. It's very creative. It's a very creative energy to tap into. So um, I just want to share with people how to be able to do that. And I've been able to do that in my life, and I'm seeing things shift all around. So
Yeah.
um, and I also do coaching on how to lucid dream and how to astral project,
Mm-hmm.
how to more experiences. I'll share meditations that people can use relatively in their life. I have YouTube channel coaching where if they want to get a YouTube channel going, I'll share what I've learned in my journey,
Mm-hmm.
give a good push in a certain direction. But one that I'm really about is the accountability coaching and
Mm-hmm.
being an accountability. And so I have a couple people that I started with so far, but so what I'm going to do is, and it's evolving as well. Um, Today, actually, I'm gonna sit down and type out. I'm gonna have a form people fill out that has they tell me their short term goals, their long term goals,
Mm-hmm.
and their ambitions, and a few other things, maybe some limiting beliefs or whatever. And for 5 days in a row, I'm going to call them from Monday to Friday or whatever fits their schedule, if
Mm-hmm.
it's from Saturday or whatever. But for 5 days in a row, I'll give them a wake up call,
Yeah.
and we'll get some good thoughts going for the day. We'll do some vision casting. We'll do some intention setting
Mm-hmm.
where you want this day to go, and what do you want for this week? What do you want? How can we make today productive? And maybe share a few nuggets, 15, 20, 25-minute call, and then throughout the day I'll be sending them little reminders.
Yeah.
I'll send them a game plan that I've assessed from
Wow, that's a lot
what
of
we've
effort you're putting into that. That's really cool.
yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate it. And it's gonna be cool. I think that'd be a really cool thing to keep people on, like to set them in a certain direction, help them set
Mm-hmm.
sail.
Mm-hmm.
And the goal is they don't have after that, they don't need me to be an accountability partner anymore. We've established some good goals. I mean, some good habits,
Mm-hmm.
or created some good energy in those few days. So that's what I'm looking forward to really doing.
That's cool. Okay then. I think we've had a pretty awesome conversation. I was
Thank.
going to ask you if you were open to giving us a bit of a freestyle or something at the end of the show, or or if that's a bit awkward.
Um. Uh. Let's see. Okay, you put me on the spot here, girl. Let me
I
see.
know, I
What?
did. I didn't prepare
What?
you. I should have let you know that that's what I was going to ask.
um. Let's see. I normally like have a little beat going, but yeah.
I would try, but I am terrible. I could try
You.
and sing Om.
Okay. Okay.
What's this?
Let's see. We talking right now, talking on this podcast. Can't help it, but I have a really odd ass. No, I'm just kidding, got a really odd past. Astral projecting all through this. I don't know.
All through this day, I can't
It's
rhyme.
all through this. All through the. Oh no, it
Yeah,
has to be
okay.
like inspired.
Okay, okay. Well, next
But
time you're ready for it
next
because
time,
I will ask you again.
okay, next time I will come prepared.
Sounds
I'll
good.
have something for you.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much for this conversation. This was awesome. Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate you. It's been fun.
hmm And hopefully we'll talk soon, and I'll let you know when this is out. Awesome.
Okay. Yeah, you keep doing what you're doing out here. I wish you the best.
Thank you.
And just so people know, you can follow on
hmm
um, I am Gordon Xavier on Instagram, and then YouTube. You can just search Gordon Xavier, and
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Oh,
right.
get you an Evolve shirt.
And get an
Represent.
Evolve shirt. I will link all those down below so people can follow you. And yeah, have an awesome day.
You
Your
as well.
day's
And,
just
and send this.
starting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. What
Yeah.
time is it there?
It's 8 o'clock, so my day's ending. It's time for me to
Oh,
meditate.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, all right, and send me this if you can, and I'd love to put this on my YouTube channel too.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Thank you so much. Yep, I will send you. We will talk through it. Yeah, we'll talk later on about it. Okay,
Okay,
awesome. Have a
sounds
great day
good.
and
Hey, you as well. Take care now.
bye.